Carl might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
How do? I'm here. Don't worry. Don't worry. Stop panicking. How are we all? Shadow Scout, thank you very much for the Prime sub there. Yes, and we had a follow as well that I haven't said hello to so far. Oh, I've not got my list of things. Yes, can't remember the name now. Danger is Fear. I knew I'd see it somewhere. Thank you, Danger is Fear, for the follow. Thank you very much. Thank you, Patch, for the resub 3 months in a row. I might have to close that window. In fact, I'm going to close that window now before we get full of bugs. That would be rubbish. How are we all? Yes, EGX. So, quite a lot to get through today. It's been a bit of a rambly stream and loads of little jobs to do. So, we thought it might be quite fun. So, EGX. EGX has announced that they are going ahead this year. They've been rumbling about it since February. Rephrase. There was always going to be an EGX this year. They announced that in February. But it's only just been announced that it's an actual physical event. I think they are bonkers. Not because I think we shouldn't be doing physical events. I really do think we should. But it's in 6 weeks' time, and they've just announced it. No, I don't know. There's probably been some sort of like behind-the-scenes talking with bugs in a Star Citizen stream. Not those sort of bugs, physical ones. I can't wait till we get physical bugs in Star Citizen. I do hope they call one the 30k, and it's just this massive insect that comes out and eats your whole ship. The event is going ahead. It's physical. It's the 7th to 10th of October in the Excel Centre in London. The Excel Centre is an amazing events venue. I love doing the Excel Centre. I've done the Excel Centre 2 or 3 times for different events, nothing gaming related. One of the coolest things I like about the Excel Centre is it has the coolest lift or elevator I've ever seen, which is one that you can drive, I think, 3 HGVs onto, and takes your whole lorries up into the thing, because it's built on the first. Like, the main exhibition hall is a floor above road level, so it takes your entire lorries in, which is just so cool. But yeah, so it's an awesome venue. We're not building anything for it. We haven't been contracted by anybody. CIG certainly won't be there as an exhibitor. They've never done EGX before. I don't imagine they will do EGX until they've got a squadron stand to fire into it. But yeah, we're going to go. Because I'm so desperate to get back to events. I just want to go to a gaming event, quite frankly. So we're going to go down. We're probably going to be there on the Friday and Saturday. So was XL with that? Yes, it was. Yes, it did have Formula E. It's also been our big COVID Nightingale hospital, but that's now been taken out. So I think this EGX might be the first event post it being a hospital, which is quite interesting. So we're planning to work out some sort of the whole day. We will be there. So this is the funny thing, right? Will we need the whole day to walk around it? I hope so. It's going to be a really short timescale for them to pull this event together. Waldeck, TBD. Hello. But stick for Thursday. We're thinking Friday, Saturday. I don't think it's going to take more than a day to get round, because I don't know how many people are going to be there. We thought we'd also do some sort of bar citizen meet up at a pub afterwards, and then perhaps another one on Saturday. Just because we miss all you guys and we want to do some real things. And I've never really managed to do the bar citizens at events that we've been involved in. Cal's usually heads out to them and shows face. We're usually tearing around like blue-ass flies, so we don't usually get to them. But yeah, I thought we could do some bit of bar citizening, and yeah, I'm fascinated to see what's going to be there. I want to do the merch halls because I'm a lot more into merch than I used to be. It took us 3 days to do Gamescom. Last time we were at Gamescom, we went in 2019. It took us realistically 3 days to get around it, to see every stand that was there and talk to people on the stands. I mean, it was a networking thing. The other thing you have to remember about Gamescom is that there are 2 halls, maybe 3 halls now, that the public don't get to go in. They're the business halls. And there's at least 3. And I think because one's double decked. And there's most of the big, like CDPR had a stand twice the size of their show floor stand in the business booth. And Nintendo has a colossal one, and Bethesda are there, and all that. So there's all that, and you kind of meet up with more of the businessy side of it behind. But yeah, Lupica, if you can, that'd be awesome. Because I say we'll be down. We want to see what it's all about. There's going to be some virtual exhibition stands, and I say it's just going to be generally fascinating to see what they pull together in this sort of space of time. So we're going to be going down to that. So it looks amazing. What else is going on? Get rid of this. Boom. Thought we'd quickly talk about this little sneak peek. So this is the instructions for the Carrack. This is the first proof that has gone to CIG for approval. So we thought I'd have a very quick skim through this. We're not gonna pause around it. I mean, you feel free to screenshot things. This isn't really secret. This is just kind of just a little sort of behind the scenes of the instructions. I should say who is behind these instructions. Quite a lot of people. Myself, the Darjanator, Hasgahar, Captain Raoul, Leela, Kals, all been involved in this. Maya as well. This is a big collaborative effort. This is probably the most collaborative part of the kit models now. So we've got our first double spread on the inside. So you have to. Can I get this to be? No, I don't think I can get this to do them side by side. So some of these are double spreads, so you'll just have to kind of imagine the double spread. So this is the left-hand side of a double spread, and this is the right-hand side of the double spread. So that's quite nice. So quite Carracky. We then have the information about Clara Barton, which you'll be going, who the fuck is Clara Barton? Well, you'll be able to read about who the fuck Clara Barton is. She was an amazing woman. Basically, we have created this Carrack. So the Carrack that you get is the Clara Barton. So it's a bit like if you got an Enterprise model or a UE Stanton model that was an Idris. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've done a little bit of lore and backstory of our Carrack, which is the Clara Barton. And it has lore about actual real-world lore about who Clara Barton was, and then kind of a bit of our own lore about what the Clara Barton in-game is, like in 2951. So that's just quite a fun little thing we're going to trial out with this. It's a sort of thing I would like to do for all of our 1 to 500 kit models. So the larger ships, like the Hercules, will be the next one to get it. So we will try and do that kind of lore with that. These pages will be familiar to anyone who's done one of our kits. And then we get into the instructions proper. Lots of stages. We have both clear and solid engines for people who want to do more or less lighting. All the magnets, there's 60 magnets. This is the most magnets we've ever put in a model before. Most of this instruction is how to put magnets in. So, I'm not kidding. Like 75% of these instructions are just putting fucking magnets in. Maybe more. I mean, this is all magnets so far. It's just magnets. Just all magnets. None of this is glued together. It's all on magnets. So we have another double spread, which is quite nice. I do like these amazing spreads. So Hasgahar and Captain Raoul will have put these together. More magnets. We then have our carrot stick for putting the windows in for internal lighting purposes. So it shows you where to put all those in. Got little like snippy information-y lore bits as well. Thanks to Maya and team. Bit of gluing. Oh, there's some gluing. Excellent. You see the little glue symbol? It's don't get a lot of gluing. More magnets. Another spread, kind of data info about the Carrack. Cool ass imagery. All good. And then this is basically how you put it together. So this is how you put it. So all of these bits going on now are all magnetized. So these are all the things. The Carrack stick, absolutely. Don't eat them all at once. So that's it in landing mode. And then this is how you do it all for flight mode. That's in flight mode. I mean, obviously you could have the antennas out in landing mode, but just to show the different variations. And then another double spread for the credits, and they're all the people that have been involved in getting this together. And then we've got a Made in Britain back page. So that is the Carrack Magnet Edition, indeed. So that is all of that. So just thought I'd give you a little teaser of that. I'm so chuffed with it. It is just so fucking cool. Everyone has done an absolutely stand-up job on it. As I say, it's something we've taken further and further and further. I think this is probably as far as I intend to take it. I don't think we need. I think this is 40 pages this time. So this is getting close to a novel by my standards. So I don't think we need to go much further than we've gone with it. You're looking a little flat there. Yes, the SketchUp person fell under a pile of wood. That's what happened there. So this is the other cool thing that's going on at the moment. So I thought I was doing my wiring layout for my landlord, so I thought I'd just quickly kind of give you an update on the new shop. So this here is now called the lab. My brain can't cope with different things being called different things. So Jamie, the guy who was helping with the Covalex unit the other day, his workshop space is called the Shed. That's his name for it. It's the Shed. It's pretty big. It's got 5 trucks in it, like 6-wheel drive classic army trucks. To give you an idea of the size, it is pretty cramped, but it is a big place. So that's the Shed. This is the lab, and where our new building that we're about to take on the lease of is going to be the shop, so the workshop. So just so that everyone knows what I'm calling everything. So this is our current garage. This is none of those things. This is the current workshop that you've been seeing on camera when we've been sort of downstairs. So this isn't obviously my CNC. It's just a random CNC that I've scaled to the right size just for putting this in. There's a workbench that's not that workbench. So this is a workbench I actually want to build. This is a modular take-to-site type collapsible workbench that I'm going to build. This is also a workbench. These are the dust extractors. This is my table saw. This is my stock of wood leaned up against the wall. But it just gives you a bit of an idea of what space we genuinely have at the moment. This is the space that we build everything in, and that we paint everything in. So when we want to paint something, we have to cover everything up with dust sheets, open the front door. We don't have a proper paint extract in it. It's just you open the fucking door. So you're effectively painting outside. So yeah, it's not ideal, but it's built as a Kraken, it's built as a Dragonfly, so it's all good. But that gives you an idea of what we're working with at the moment, and it's got what's the ceiling height? 2.8 meter ceiling height, which isn't horrendous. It means you can stand an 8-foot sheet up with plenty of swinging about room. So that could be worse. But it's a cramped old space. It seriously limits what we can build for obvious reasons. You imagine not many wall sections get put in here before it is literally you can't move. So yeah, it's not ideal. So what's happening? Well, we are going to this place. So this is the new shop. This whole mezzanine office doesn't exist. It is just an open space. This is me basically plotting out what I eventually want it to become. And I'm having to be a bit more forward-thinking than I would perhaps not like to be, but need to be, because basically I need to tell the landlord he's having the whole place rewired to bring it up to 18th edition regs. So I need to tell him exactly where I want all the power points in it, and these like not just like pin sockets on the wall. Like I need a 63 amp 3-phase here, I need a 32 amp 3-phase here, you know, all this sort of stuff. So I need to kind of work out where everything is in theory going to end up, so he can put the power in now for me, which is amazing. But it just means I need to actually think it all out. So eventually, this is the office space basically in the shop. So it'll be a pretty, ignore this coming through here, we'll get to that in a minute. So it's a pretty big open plan. There'll probably be a little bit of, there'll be a toilet block in here at some point. There's currently a toilet here, but that's just like a shop toilet. So there'll be a little bit more luxury in here, hopefully a bit of food making facility. I only kind of need that once I've got employees based out of this facility, because this whole place is 2 minutes down the road from here. So I will be coming home for lunch. This place only needs a fridge, a kettle, and a microwave for the foreseeable future, because we'll just come here and just have lunch. So that is absolutely fine. So underneath here, but for the time being just stood here, will be 2 CNCs. So the one I currently have, and it's dust extract, and hopefully we shall get a second one. I want a second one because it basically doubles our productivity. One person can look after probably up to 5 machines, if we're being honest, but we've got more room, but not that much more room or money. My table saw sitting very lonely here. That'll be built into a bench. Some more benches here. I'll have chop saws and all this sort of stuff here. Racking for materials, because currently I have one rack stood up against a wall, which isn't ideal because the wood does bow slowly over time. Massive amount of racking at the back. So this is like this is pallet racking, double depth, for storage of pieces that are finished. This is just to sort of show the depth of this thing, so we can actually get a full lorry in here, and basically back this in. Any satellite offices on the horizon? What do you mean by a satellite office? Like more than here? Well, I say this one will be another office here. Or do you mean like down in Londonshire? Well, I suppose our only satellite office will be over in the US, probably at Drew's Ranch. Will be where we have a satellite office eventually. So we'll just fake this up out the way at the moment. So there is a door that you can actually drive this through at the front here. So my plan with this place is basically to have all the heavy work tools under here, table saws, CNCs, all that kind of stuff. And then this area here is a 10 meter by, I think 15 meter, or maybe even more, maybe 16 meter open build space. So that is Londonshire. God no. I'm sorry, I would not pay to be down there. Just move your ass up north. I genuinely don't understand why anyone lives in the south of the UK. It literally costs twice as much, and I don't see the advantage these days. But hey, so this space here is basically for building a trade stand, because it would be amazing to be able to. We could have quite easily build the 2017 CRG Gamescom stand here in its entirety. And why would you want to do that? Well, there's a lot of advantages to being able to put a trade stand together before you get there. We could like have Hassan down, who's the sort of like tech guy for CRG UK. He could do the cable routings, work out where all that needs to be. We can discuss power. We can go, oh fuck, this bit isn't big enough, right before we paint it. Like, you know, I'd get people down to look at it built with pre-paint, so we can make alterations and people can stand in the space and really appreciate kind of, right, okay, the workings of it. Because what you see on the day is only 3/4 of it. There is backstage room as well for people's bags, coats, all the volunteers working there. Where's the food going to go? Where the fridge is going to go? Where's all the fucking servers going to go? You know, how we're doing the power drops? Where's the LCD wall
JR might
going?
be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Paul 3 Keys, thank you very much for the subscription. 3 months in a row, very good, very good. Thank you very much. So having a massive build space is just going to be such a huge. I've never worked anywhere with that kind of build space. Like when we were at Engineering, the place was bigger. Engineering's workshop was bigger than this, but it was in the Lipton's Tea original distribution warehouse built in 1850 something. So it had an iron column every 4.5 meters to hold the roof up. So like you couldn't build anything in there, and it wasn't very tall. Whereas this is 4.5 meters to 6.5 meters height, so it's got some height in it. And then this bit in the corner over here is the spray booth. So extract will be on this wall, big door, and then this whole area will be for painting. So this is where we actually get to spray stuff, and it'll be a completely self-contained room that we can keep dust free, that we can hoover down really easily, and yeah, it will be a really, really nice big. It's not colossally big, but it's much bigger than our current whole workshop. It's just let's put our current shop into the paint room. It's about the same actually. So it's a bit narrower. So it's effectively our entire workshop at the moment with no tools in it will be the spray room. Oh god, that's gonna be so good. So yeah, big empty space for me to paint things. As I say, keep all that separate, because one of the biggest issues I have at the moment is that I can't cut things and paint things at the same time. Is one or the other. And between cutting stuff and painting stuff, you literally have to hoover the entire workshop out to get rid of every single bit of dust you can, because as soon as you start spraying, your spray will kick up all that dust. So it's an absolute nightmare. So it's not going to be as clean and tidy. It's not going to look like this, straight away. But this is kind of what I am swinging for with this new building. And when we get in, there is a massive spray booth, automotive spray booth here that you can fit a minibus in, and that's what we're repurposing. I'm buying that. I'm repurposing it to the extract room here and kind of rebuild it as this room. So there's quite a lot of work to get it to where we want it to be, but it's very exciting. It's we're taking the plunge because we feel the right events are finally coming back. We really want to get back into events. We want to build some truly massive things. And the only way of doing that is by having a workshop, because we can't do it out of our garage anymore. It's ridiculous. The lab is great for all the 3D printing and all of this sort of stuff, and that's what we're going to keep this as. Maybe one day it'll all get moved down to the same place. We'll need more space down there, but that might be a possibility later on. But for now, we'll just keep it as a split site and have the lab here and the shop down there. It does make sense having 3D printers in our house still for the time being, because we put prints on just before we go to bed. First thing we do when we get up, we'll occasionally set alarm clocks to get up in the middle of the night to swap prints over if we're really on a real push. So having them here is more convenient anyway. So that's fine. So cool. So that's all that. Yeah. So that's where we are with Engineer. How are you? We're just musing over my new workshop design, comparing little old shop that we have at the moment downstairs compared to the new gaff we're moving into this year. So it's looking good. It's good. I say this is all theoretical at this point, i.e. what's in it. But yeah, it is the plan. So let's get some shit done. Right. So we need. Look the right book. We need to move over here. So this is we're back. Well, no, I don't think we've ever streamed from this bench before, actually. I don't think we have, actually. I think this is, I don't think we've been here. Let's do the mobile camera. So this is, we could just do this as a bit of a, so this is the sort of casting slash, that's all vinyl for the vinyl cutter. That's a Lego car on the wall. This is all casting stuff. Lots of boxes. Oh, my poster's starting to come down. Inspect that. Inspect the poster. Poster's coming off the wall. Surprised that if you sort of think that double size of tape would be enough. Apparently not. Yeah. So they are both posters from 142. So we have many a thing. We have same workbench that used to be on that side of the room. It's now on this side of the room. We have bins. These are sort of trundly out bins that come out, and our casting stuff is now here. So we have vacuum chamber built into the worktop. Instead of having all of the things of water, we now have many donuts of wood that basically fill most of the cavity for us, so we don't have to extract as much air. The bins are important, you are damn right, and that sort of just takes up less room in general in our lives. And then we've got the pressure pot behind it, again slightly just mounted into the desk. So there we go. So first thing we need to do is make the very last Carrack canopy mold, because we have 6 done now. We have 6 done. We need 1 more. So that's simple as do what's that. Great having shelves with just stuff on it. Now, some of you will have been involved in the debates in the Discord, exclamation Discord in chat, of what the next model is, the 100. My sort of little thing for this one is that's a piece of it. That's all you get to see. Ha 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 ha. Right, so we've got here what I've been doing. For those of you who remember how difficult it was to rebuild this weird ass hex mold, what I have discovered is actually putting all the pieces of it in IPA after we've cast silicon into it kind of fixes the issues we were having with stuff not sticking to it. So each time it's I've been cleaning it, which is absolutely fine. Over here on that wall there, that is a big empty wall now, and I thought that's where we could put the big Pisces blueprints, like the big Pisces screens. Thought would work quite well. Let's turn this camera up a little bit. That's better. I totally have some cuts on my hand, which you think it's bad when you go into a shop and I like wash your hands with alcohol gel and before you realise you had a cut. 99.9% IPA is even worse. So so this has got all the stickers and everything that we've ever put on these molds. So sort of collected them all in here. But it has meant that these are not anywhere near as sticky. So yeah, have a feel free to throw. I should say, Kai was talking about we should do an AMA. Just like, well, I kind of think every stream is an AMA, but I probably should make that point that every stream is an AMA. Please feel free to ask me any question at any time. We could do a giveaway as well. Let's do that. Just get that going. We shall give away some donuts. There we go. Subscribers get 10 tickets, non-subscribers get 1 ticket. You have to already be a subscriber to get the 10 tickets. Unfortunately, we discovered that if you get a ticket and then subscribe, you can't then get the other 9. Apologies for that, Streamlabs. Right, okay. So, what do I want to do with that IPA? Well, no, actually, once we've done this mold, I will clean the mold again. So this can go back on the shelf. I've put a lid over it so that it doesn't evaporate. Because IPA has a tendency to do that. Do you have any plans on which ship will be next? Yes. So, from a point of view of, we never just have one ship in the pipeline, I should say as well. We are doing all of our 1 to 500 ships, basically in open development. We did all Carrack in open development, and like things like I've shown you the scalpel. Has anyone seen my scalpel? No? I actually have a box of modelling supplies. So from a 1 to 500s point of view, the next kit model, 1 to 500 kit model, is the Hercules. Hopefully that will be by the end of the year, end of Q4. We're also doing in the dioramas in 1 to 500 to add to our current Cutlass Red, Cutlass Black, Freelancer, Freelancer Duo, Freelancer Max, Arrows, and Pisces, which are already out and available to buy. We're also adding to that the MSR, Gladius, Buccaneer, Sabre, Vanguard, Miz, and Cutlass Blake. So all of those are coming. We've been teasing the next 1 to 100 fighter. We do have a 1 to 100 fighter in the works, or 1 to 100 ship, I should say. I suppose pretty much all the ones we do are fighters or snub shippy type things, anyway. So that is working its way well through development at the moment. It's the one I am currently doing my focus on. So it'll be the next one after the Carrick to hit the shelves, but we aren't currently doing that in open development. So we haven't announced that yet, but I've been teasing it a bit on the on stream because I'm like that. The issue we have with the 1 to 100s is I should have done one ages ago, really. Just didn't get around to it. Because the Arrow is, I won't say it's nearly sold out. That might be a bit of an exaggeration. We've sold over, I think we're up to 310 or something like that. They sell faster than pretty much everything else put together. The Arrows are very popular. So there's only about, we're currently doing, I can say this, we're currently doing a print run of the Arrows to finish them. So we're doing a print run of 175 Arrows because we only have up to 325 on the shelf. So we've got another 175 Arrows still to manufacture, but we're doing all of those in one big go. So that then they are done, and after that there is no more Arrows, which is kind of weird. At this rate, even though there's only like 18 PTVs left, it might actually sell out before the PTVs, which I find hilarious. The Arrow is very popular, so it's something to go alongside the Arrow because we've been a little bit bad in that we haven't done another 1 to 500. 1 to 100 fighter. So we just can't do them all at once, which is the problem, of course. I had an interesting question in the YouTube panel. All of our streams get thrown up onto YouTube, and was asked the question: are we going to change the Carrack's weapon loadout now it's changed in game? got to be honest, I didn't notice it had changed in game. I don't have a Carrack, so I've never actually taken one out, other than when we were kind of... Leela's got one. But I've never really noticed the loadout. The quick answer to that is no, we're not. If it has changed, no, entirely believe the person that told me it did. We won't be changing it now. The Carrick is all signed off. All of the turrets and everything are printed now. So for our first run of 100, so we'll be starting with 100 Carracks on the shelf. Is the plan? That inside. So that's our master in the bottom. In the bottom there. Ooh, no, there we go. So that's a solid model print. So we're going to put that in the bottom. I need to do the sides. Probably keep that closer. Oh, it's shiny. It's very shiny. So I just need to seal the insides. I mean, this is by far and away not going to completely seal this. We will get silicon leaking out of this. It really doesn't matter, as long as it doesn't entirely come out. There is an acceptable level. But yes, thank you very much for the question, Waldeck TBD. But yes, we always have plans. We're probably working on 3 models ahead of where we are. We've certainly put in, I think we currently have 4 outstanding licenses in for ship models. The process from deciding what we're doing, licensing it, designing it, and getting it out is about 9 months. So we have to be pretty far ahead with it. What I don't know yet, and this is genuine, I don't know what the next 1 to 500 ship is going to be, like kit model ship. We've got the Hercules at the end of this year, but I don't have another one in. We basically have a choice currently from what is current, because we can only do ones that are in game. We currently only have a choice of Hammerhead, 600i, and Starfarer. Do you have any plans for the Hull C? God, yes, I am a massive Hull fan. I have all the hulls. That is what I do. I am a hauler. I have a Hull E, and I cannot wait to do the Hull C. So the Hull C will definitely be a 1 to 500 ship, but it's not in game. So there's nothing we can do about it until it's in game. But it'll certainly be high on. I'm really hoping it's high on the list because I fucking love it. Will it be a challenge? It'll have challenges to it. Let's say the spindles and everything will be interesting. I'm not hugely worried about it, if I'm being perfectly honest. There will be ways of doing it, no doubt. So we will cross that bridge. I don't think there's anything there that can't be done. We're lucky in that we've got both rigid resin and tough resin have come out since we started doing these kit models. And that gives us 2 really amazing materials to be able to approach things like the spindles with. So there's also nothing stopping us putting some metal in it as well, some rods and things to strengthen all that up. I certainly want to have all the cargo pods and magnets, so they're all swappable out. Obviously, we need to see what they're going to look like. By the looks of it, there's going to be fewer larger cargo boxes on the hulls, with lots of smaller boxes inside. So I think that seems to be the way it's going. Right, so that's our mold prep. Excellent. Stickers. So desk protection. Mold Star 15. Use theory steps. One mixing cup. Sauce. Yeah. It's the I'm pretty sure that's what it said. It's a bit like, what was the Jean was it a Jean cargo ship that has its sort of hexagonal pods? And that seems to be it's got they're droppable pods, but they still have cargo inside it, like the Carrack pods. Alexi, hello, welcome. Right, so this is Mold Star 15. This is what I kind of use for all of the molds I do at the moment. I've kind of got the opportunity to change that because we're nearly at the bottom of this, the bottom of these two tubs. You have to kind of make clever decisions when you're buying this sort of stuff because these are about £210 for these tubs. They've lasted me a fairly long time, but as you can see, we're nearly at the bottom of them now. We're just about to be scraping the valves. So I think I'm going to get more of it, to be honest. This has been a really nice. This has been the slow. This is Mold Star 15 slow. And it's been a nice speed to play around with. I'm never really in a huge hurry with silicon molds, if I'm honest. I'd rather get the molds to have plenty of time to degas and get the bubbles out and stuff. So I'm not in any real rush with them because I'm not making silicon products. I'm just making silicon molds. So I'm quite happy with the speed. So let's see if I can do this. So we've given them an individual little mix. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Cartwell. We get so few requests for alien ships, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things. There will be plenty of ships that we never end up doing. There's no way of getting around that. We want to do every ship in 1 to 500 because we can. Because there's and things like that. Those sort of details we can just fake in the 1 to 500 minis. So that's fine. But some of these unless they become exceedingly popular ships in game, more popular than I see them at the moment, then really we're not going to be tackling them as big hit models. It costs us around, time aside. Well, I say money is the time, but about 8 to 10,000 UK to develop a kit model, roughly. That's design time, that's extraction time, that's having the artwork done, it's all the liaison with CIG, the license fees, all this sort of stuff. So it is very much we have to make sure that we're going to sell a lot. We do 500 of each model. They break even once we've sold about 250. We roughly try and put it so once we've sold half, we've broken even on the project. So, we have to be sure. We have to be sure. So the Arrow has broken even now, so it's in profit, but it's the only one that's in profit so far. The MPUV, yeah, I definitely want a BMX. I'm a big MPUV fan, so right. Let's get the camera over here. So I've tried to set this up so we can see what's going on in here. Even got a little torch. So that is there's our liquid in there. Go to the big camera so we can see. Okay. Excellent. Right, I shall now get the pump. So we should see in here, we will see in here, this is going to degas. Get all those bubbles out. Will you make more models of the Arrow in the future? No. It is literally we are doing 500. They're all numbered. I can grab a random kit. So you look at my Carrack, every kit has a little hologram on it. That is so many out of 500. So once they're gone, they're gone. Once we've sold 500, that will be it forever. Oh, is it going to crest over? No, we're good. So once we've got the 500 done, that is it. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I'm not a big fan. If someone says it's a limited edition run of however many, I kind of get pissed when they do other runs of them, if I'm going to be honest. So that seems like cheating to me. And for us, because this is our setup, these are all the bits of kits and all this sort of stuff down here. It gets to a point, we've just expanded this room a huge amount. This is kind of as far as it can go now. It sort of gets to the point where it will stop us being able to do a new model because we haven't manufactured and got rid of our previous one. We can't keep manufacturing all of them forever. So we kind of have to actually sell them out and get rid of them. Yeah, there will become a point where we'll have to stop making new models until old models have sold out. Because we've probably got room for a dozen ongoing kits, but that's it, really. We don't have the printers and stuff to be able to be manufacturing more than 12 product lines simultaneously. So, yeah, a dozen at the very, very outside. So it's a bit glary, isn't it? Yeah. So you can sort of see all the bubbles coming out. This is under a negative pressure of just shy of -1 bar. Pulling all those little bubbles out. I'm a big MPUV fan as well. It's one of the few ships that we can actually build full scale for an event and be useful, and borderline useful. I've got to be honest. You could sit in it, you can sit in the back of it, we could have some rigs in the back of it and stuff. It's still not brilliant. You could probably only get 8 people on PCs, 4 down each side of one of the back drop pods. But it's one of the very few ships we can actually build full size in an event. And that's not a limiting factor of how big a thing we could make. it's a limiting factor of how big a stand you're going to have at an event, and how much you've only got a couple of days to physically build it. So and it's got to fit in a truck. So there's a few factors involved. Homeroom Live, hello. What's your current stock roughly of what? I don't know all of them off by heart. Roughly, our current stock of arrows is about 16. I say we're running low on those because we've got we've been selling them really well recently, and we have. Let's just let me add back into that. What else we got? We've probably got. Let's say we've got 18 Grey Cat PTVs left, and that is it. We're not manufacturing any more of those. Right. So when you're pouring resin or silicons or anything, just pour on one side and just let it flow around. Let it find its way around the master. If you don't have a degas chamber, you can sort of pour from a very, very, very great height, and it sort of elongates the bubbles as you're pouring, which helps burst them. To be honest, it's not something I'd want to rely on. I think I do like actually degassing it. Okay. And now it needs to go in a pressure pot. So this is our pressure pot. Lid on. Around the camera. Oh, I don't have a bit of paper towel in it. So this is going to leak. There's no two ways about it. It will leak because we're about to pressurize it, but it's not a great problem. It's down. Get these pretty tight down, and then left air in. See on the gauge. That's it pressurizing, and yeah. That is the last mold put in. Yes. So that's excellent. Right. So next task involving resin. We need to do some more colouring of 3D print resin. So let me get some things for that. Throwing that stuff out. There. So for the Carrack, we have a few parts like this. Okay, that's now pressurized. Okay. So we have a few parts like this. To the windows, you can see that they've got a blue tint to them. This is it's quite subtle tint, but they should sort of nicely glow blue. And that tint is basically a dye that we have added into the 3D print resin. So it's not something that's bought off the shelf, it's something we have made and basically are running. So we need to make some more, which we're kind of going to do by eye. So I'm looking for the right size pot. That's not big enough. I don't really want to use a bigger pot than that, I've got to be honest. So we're going to have to Move my monitor slightly to get this pop out. Have to add some of those to the order list. So basically, to dye it, we have to put an alcohol ink in. Will we be able to get clear parts rather than blue tinted? Wasn't planning on there being that. What for, Shadow Sketch? What you after? What you after? It's the sort of thing that we could probably do a couple of prints of, so that you amazing people with particular projects can get hold of them through the spare parts policy. So that's fine. So that's our pot. I'm just going to grab the red. I prefer non-tinted. Yeah, I'd say I'd be quite happy to print you up a non-tinted one. When you order, just stick it in the notes, and I shall remember / not remember, and then do it anyway. Right, cool. So this is our current blue tint. We'll have to pour this in. Just let the air out. There's not a lot left. And we're kind of going to have to eyeball this a little bit for the blue. We sort of know roughly how much we need. Sorry. Now this is slight. We could have gone more extreme with this tint, but it doesn't need to be extreme. It's very subtle in game. It's actually only a texture you see in the reflection of the glass, we've discovered. It is there, it is a blue, but you only really see it in when it's, or refraction, I should say, not reflection. Right. So, let's take a bit of a picture just to give me a little bit of a reference. Okay. So, I'm going to take this pot of clear resin, dunk this in, No longer enter the raffle. Which means we should call said raffle. Right, if I just lean that there. Get a tiny bit of straw. Stick it in there. Like that. Steady. Steady so I can draw the raffle. Yep. That was almost genius. I want to have to hold it. I'm going to go through this box in a minute as well, but it's going to act as our thing. Dear. Right. Okay. Let's look at raffles. Let's pick a winner. We ready? Drum rolls, people. Pull 3 keys. Excellent, excellent. Congratulations. You are the proud winner of 250 JREX. Congrats, congrats. Shall we do another one? Since we've done this and I remembered to draw it this time. Because I totally forgot to do it last time. Let's do it. Feeling generous. Riggs. Oh, you can't say that. You play 1, 2. 2 in a row nearly, I think. Right, okay. That's still dribbling in. Yeah, we shouldn't need this. Right, so inks. Where are the inks? Inks and dyes. I've got all these little boxes. Blue. Okay. Yeah, this is a box of stuff that's come from downstairs. I thought we'd to sort out what I want to keep and what I want to throw away. Slash, suppose we could give some of it away. That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? Yeah, we'll pick something out of this box to give away. How about that? It's got to be something. Got to be something. Right. Okay. So let's pull that out the bottom. So that's emptied that cartridge. Let's get another stirrer. So this is obviously now much paler. Should probably do another one, but I'm running a little bit low on blue. I'm on clear resin at the moment, so I'm not going to. Right, so as with all inks, this stuff is ludicrous. So we're going to get hard. Got a drop on the card. It's good job we did that, wasn't it? Forget this isn't a gel. This is an alcohol ink, so it's even less viscous than water. Use the stick to put the dye in. Go bit by bit. are up already. Tiny bit. That's enough. That's enough. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Oh, apologies, I've got my box between me and my microphone. Paints and where to buy them. So, Lupercal is the person to ask in out of the people in this room, since he is one of our painters. The internet is about as good an answer as I can give you on that. I use Vallejo paints. I don't really paint. I've got to be honest. I do sometimes. But yeah, no, we don't really have a preferred partner. We're not sponsored by anybody. It's interesting, this, actually. Not that I'm anywhere near big enough as a channel to be sponsored. I don't think I'd ever want to be sponsored by anybody unless I genuinely love their product. So I would definitely recommend Smooth On for resins and silicons and stuff. It's what I use all the time. But I wouldn't want to be sponsored by someone and go, oh, yes, use Smooth On, I'm sponsored by Smooth On. Because that feels really not genuine. Like, I have no issue with, touting stuff that I like. So I would definitely recommend Smooth On. I was recommended Vallejo paints by painters, so that's why I've got them. But I honestly don't know enough about painting, or I'm good enough at painting to give you a meaningful recommendation. Right, so we need to pour this back in, which is going to be the really exciting bit. Ah, damn. Oh, don't crack. Come on, Smooth On. Show me you've got really good pots that aren't going to crack on me. Should have taken the mixing spoon. So obviously we've got to be slightly careful pouring this back in, because not all going to fit. Because we took the stuff out of the tray as well. So I'm going to have to pour. Let's try and keep a little bit of an eye on where it is. There's, of course, a completely black ABS plastic cartridge. So I will see right at the last minute. There we go. I'll be far away now. You're probably going to overfill this cartridge from what it was originally, but that's fine. You have to be slightly careful with this stuff because it's 140 pounds a litre, so we don't want to waste it by cocking up refilling things. That's nearly at the top, and to be honest, what's left in here is not enough to put back into the 3D printer's tray. So we're going to put it back in the 3D printer's tray, but it's going to have to dispense more resin out anyway. So I'm going to go and just put that in the printer. You can literally put that upside down in the printer and just let it dribble out. I'll put that in the back of the printer. Oh, that's that done. Let's tidy our arse. Yes, Discord is, yes, genuinely a place to go as well, because we not only have both of our painters in there, there's also quite a lot of other people that have painted our models. I mean, we use the 3D printed SLA, which is obviously a different material than you would get on, say, Warhammer models and stuff, but it is still a resin. It's just a photo cure resin. So, hello, new here. Was that an epoxy resin? No. So the stuff we've just mixed, the color, that is an SLA 3D print resin. This might reach. Let's do this. So we have, we use Formlabs 3D printers. Reach cable. So we have Formlabs 3D printer, so that is 3D print resin, so all the stuff in those cartridges. I have one complaint over with regards to Formlabs and the resin. We get a lot of empty cartridges. This is just some of our empty cartridges that are like stacked all over the back. Yeah, I don't know how to recycle down things. I've got a box of 200 and something in the loft. They're a pain. The problem is they're technically contaminated because they've got uncured resin in them. A friend of mine says cut them in half, leave them out in the sun. I don't think he's ever been to Scotland. But yeah, so I kind of need to put them through a table saw or something because they're really thick ABS plastic, which is a very recyclable material. But I say a recycling plastics place won't take them if they're still contaminated. So it's not an epoxy, it's a photo cure resin, which is why it's in such a thick black ABS plastic container, so no light at all can get to it. But yeah, 3D print resin is expensive, real expensive. Thank you for the question. I would like to have more of the Carrack, Caterpillar, Merchant, and Hull E. Such good combo. I like that. So interestingly, obviously not putting you off having the full size, not doing a full size arrow. I mean, fucking massive. The big arrow. Interestingly, all of the other things, Caterpillar, Merchantman, Hull E, will all be done in 1:500. So the Caterpillar, for example, is the largest 1:500 diorama we plan to do with the current, from current ships available. But yeah, all of those will definitely, Merchantman and will definitely, there's definitely going to be a kit model. The Hull E is definitely going to be a kit model. It's going to be a large ass kit model in 1:500. I cannot wait. That is going to be expensive. Right, have a look in this box. Let's have a look in this box. So what we got? So this is a random box of shite. I will say this now. This has all come from a cupboard that we relocated downstairs and decided that really. I need to just move my microphone. Yep. Otherwise, I'm speaking through a box, which can't be great. Yay, Hull E, I know, right? So what we got in here? We have got that could do with some love. So this is a GHG coin. So this is actually a resin cast of a. This is a resin cast of a 3D car, actually. Now, this was pre-printers. So we had this grey-headed gamer bought a fridge crate from us. And this was one of the sort of emblems that went on the front of his fridge crate. It was one of the ones we didn't paint. So it's a spare GHG coin. A Britizen first place wooden carve of a coin. There she blows. So it's quite a deep relief in birch plat. We have some certificates of authenticity for the Christmas grey cats. That's random. They might just go in the bin. Because I'm not giving away certificates of authenticity without anything to go with them. That's silly. Bolt for desks. Yeah. What desk are they for? Can't remember. I'm going to keep those. They're obviously for an event desk. The back arse of a hunter. So this is one of our initial test prints. Unji will remember this. One of our initial test prints, pre-detailing of the Vandal Hunter in 1:750, I think. One of the Winslow models. So these are random as fuck. So these are these little black triangles. They came out of a British and Coin mold. They're like a waste producty bit. And we use them for little stands for little prize people. So they are relatively useless. Hey, Star Citizen Man! 1 Star Citizen Man. So this is a 1:72 Grey Cat from the Kraken build. So this is one of the spares from the Kraken. It's a bit broken. But this is the scale of the Dragonflies we did on the Kraken. And it takes us back to how shit we were back then at doing 3D models. Just other hideous scaffolding, all the thin bits, and it's horrid. But we keep it just to remind ourselves of how far we've come. A 600i print with terrible touch points on the bottom. This thing is solid as well. So this was a test print we did as one of the potential sizes for the ones we did on the Brixton Con. Pariverse mementos. We decided to go smaller. We did smaller than that in the end. That was one of our test prints. So this is one of the bases for the Pariverse. This is our prototype one. So I haven't got one, but obviously it was much smaller for those that have seen the Pariverse 600i models. Yes, well, if you're ever in the UK, Angie, you have to come to the office. There's only one of them, and it's in the office in Winslow. A Foundry 42 wristband, Cloud Imperium Games Foundry 42 wristband, which I've obviously picked up at the office at some point. First thing. This is a random thing. So this is a rubber 3D print. So we've got one of those like floating shelves, the magnetic floating shelves that fits over the top of it, and then you can sort of have a thing to spin in it. So that's a relatively useless thing. Momentum. A FDM printed by Darren, British and Con 2019 coin, gold FDM print. A 1:40 Marine. Standing there with his gun. Focus, camera. Focus. There we go. Standing with a SMG or something. Again, it was just a sort of scale print job. This is... Can anyone guess what this is? Guesses onto what on earth this is. Guesses in chat. Oh, javelin pieces. So we have engine nozzles from the Javelin. We have side engines from the Javelin. We have the little winglets off the Javelin. So these, again, like the Hunter, these are all prints from the 1:750 Winslow office models we did. So these are some cool prints of Freelancer Max engines done on an FDM printer for comparison to our SLA printers. Sure. Which Miserable G did for me. So we'll part of those. A random grey cat screen. Ooh, do I have any more Carrack prints? Is there anyone in here, interestingly? I mean, we have quite a lot of characters because we've got, what is there, 7 in the, for the tumbrils. The Grey Cat has 2. Dragonfly has 4. So yeah, there are quite a few 1 to 40 characters. This is one that we haven't ever put out in the 1 to 40s yet, just because there's not been one that we sort of fitted with. So, any guesses on this? What this exact thing is? So there's this as well, which I find hilarious. So this is a 3D printed version of this, which might help you work out kind of give a sort of age of it. So we've 3D printed it since. This is not 3D printed. This is carved.
I'm just happy to blame JR
machine.
immediately, but if you insist, we will look at the evidence.
Yeah, Luna owns Twitch. Hello, thank you for the follow. Thank you. This blue stuff is tooling board. So this is CNC carved out of tooling board. So we've made this pre having 3D printers. It's a chip weapon. It is indeed a ship weapon. I can help you out a little bit by putting the barrel on it now. So there's the barrel. There it is with its barrel. Should help you out now. It is it's again a sort of memory lane piece of it is a gun. It's a very specific gun. More bits of prints of it. Oh, there is something random in here though, Unji. Look what I found, Unji. Oh, there. Look what I found. No one is going to guess what that is, other than Engineer, because he designed it. That's great, people. I expected more. No. So this is the original Raven gun from the 2017 1-8 Raven. When we moved it to Winslow, by the time we moved it to Winslow, we had 3D printers. So the ones that are on the model in Winslow now are fully 3D printed and illuminated and everything, because we printed these bits in clear and lit them and all the rest of it. We didn't have 3D printers back in these days. This is my massive chunk out of it because I had to break into it to get all the LEDs out of it. But interestingly, these bits here are 3D printed on the same printers that we have now, but done by another company, so that they lit up. That was these bits and these little lenses at the front were the only bits that used to light. So we keep this to remind us of how awful it used to be to have to carve on a CNC machine things of this sort of detail. And obviously 3D printing them, you get so much more to play with. And this is a fairly, shockingly quick fix of the gun as well. There's a lot more detail we could put in it. But this worked for the sort of scale we were doing it at. Just find it fascinating to sort of keep in mind. So there's some things here that I ain't going to give away. But what do we give away? We have the Cloud Imperium wristbands. I've got another one of those. I'd be quite happy to give away one of those, but that seems quite sort of naughty because you haven't won a first prize at British Con 20, so we shouldn't give that away. that does seem a little bit random.
I'm just happy to blame JR immediately, but if you insist, we will.
Elduke, thank you for the follow. I don't know. So this is the odd thing: is some things that we probably shouldn't be allowed to give away, sort of like the 600 and stuff, because it's not a licensed product. I was expecting for more non-Star Citizen stuff in this box, if I was perfectly honest with you. Foundry 42 thing is quite cool because obviously you can't get these anymore because Foundry 42 doesn't exist. So we'll definitely go with that. Yeah. Let's go with that and the little man. We'll go with the Foundry 42 thing and the little dude. We can give that away without any real issues. So he's 1 to 40, I think. Yes, must be 1 to 40. Yeah, he's too big for 1 to 72. This is obviously not one of ours. This is one of the original Star Citizen men that we keep just for shits and giggles, I think, to be honest. So this is all just sort of detritus that's come from a shaft downstairs, which is hilarious. Right, cool. So that's I think we're done over here now. We've mixed resin, we've done casting. We can come back to over here. Yes. Okay. So, what else were we doing? Oh, yes, right. So, the other thing we're doing is a Covalex unit. So, last time on JRDF, we kind of got this far. Now, I've tried to set the sound up a bit. So that we can do carving downstairs live. It's going to be difficult. I think it's so loud, it just cut the NVIDIA voice, just cuts all audio. So it's basically just like muting me. I certainly can't hear anything over it. I can't hear myself talk over it. So I'm not 100% sure how to get us to the point of being able to stream around the CNC. I'm working on that. I don't know the answer, unfortunately. Right, so what we're doing here, what were we doing here? Right, so we want to add in these cool featurey panels to the Covalex unit because they currently aren't on the Covalex unit, and we want to just sort of add them in just to kind of bolster up the realism. So first thing we need to make stock. So this is how far we got with making said stock. What I did realize that is actually we need to be a little bit more complex with this. Because what we actually need to do is have a way of building the stock. Being accurately building the stock. So it's obviously just made from 4 bits of 12mm birch ply. But I need to be able to know where to put them. So what I'm going to do is basically draw a line. So this line here will draw with a 3mm bit on the outside so that when we're putting it together, we've got a reference line to actually put this next piece of wood on, because we need to get it dead center because we've not given ourselves a huge amount of extra. And what we'll do, because we'll glue this, we will put a little 4mm in. We'll actually put a little screw hole in. Just here. Just so that we've got a nice little pre-drilled hole to screw down through. Wonko the Sane, good evening, good evening. How are you, good sir? This will just give us 4 points to screw it down by. Like that. Because what we're going to have to do is obviously cut these 4 bits of wood, glue them together, let the glue set, and then we can 3D carve the bit that we want out of it. If we do it all out of one piece, that's really nicely glued together, then it'll be a lot easier to sand and paint and all that kind of stuff. Yes, me and Carl's are good. Me and Carl's are good. Thank you very much for asking. Hanging in there. So that's cool. So we need to do that to each of these. And again, what we want to do is have this line just very lightly, just like 1.5 mil depth, just go round, just so that we've got this sort of like reference point. Board gamer, how are we? What are we building today? We've done all sorts today. We've done some silicon casting. Currently, we are farting around with this thing. So I don't know whether you'll remember on our stand in 2019 we had this full-size unit. So it's been gathering dust in the corner of our garage workshop for a while now, and we're just signing a lease for a massive workshop, which is very exciting. But it does mean that we need to kind of get some projects finished, and so we're not taking half-built shit to the new shop, which would seem a little bit silly. So we're doing some upgrades on it. We've got it all working. Just to sort of like fill you in on this, it has a touchscreen panel in it. You can click the button. Its roller shutter is currently on an air ram that opens. You put boxes in it. There's RFID chips that recognize if it's the right box or not. It's ludicrously complicated. James, the Stormtrooper, has done all the back coding for it, and it's super cool. But it just needs a few little cosmetic upgrades now that we've got all the tech installed and all working. And one of them is just these inner panels, because I never really did any sort of detailing on the inside. So we've horsed holes in these, and there's a light to put in the back. So we're just sort of doing all the tool paths for that at the moment, trying to get all that done. How are you, good sir? It has been too long till events. Oh, I don't know if you're still here, board or not, but we're going to EGX because they announced an actual gaming event. So we're coming down to do EGX. I don't know if you're planning on heading up. Yes, for you. I was just trying to remember where you live. Up. So, but yes. Oh, good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear, my friend. Yeah, no, I thought obviously we're not building anything for anybody at EGX, but it's like I'm just so desperate to get back to a goddamn event, dude. I just want to do some eventing. Oh yes, please. It was funny actually. We were looking at some old box of crap that I've been sort of sorting the workshop out and stuff, and these bring back memories. Good old Britisson coins, the good old Britisson Con first place trophies. I found a little Britisson Con 2019 little memento and things. So I've been looking through some old bits and pieces there. But yes, I know, right? Yes, no, absolutely. We pre-pandemic memories, indeed, in the good old days when we were allowed out. But yes, absolutely, yes. As soon as you have details, please let us know. We will be totally on board for that. We are always hungry for events, you know us. And yes, Manchester is the place to do events. I mean, that's why we did Britisson Con there at the end of the day, wasn't it? So. It's interesting. It's Britisson Con was always a frustration for me.
Apparently, he's got some great friends.
Thank you, Lurtzig. Got one of those coins. Oh, the little one or the big one? Were you a winner? Thank you for the sub.
I'm just happy to blame JR immediately, but if you insist, we will look at the evidence.
Deathcore FTW, thank you for the follow. The things that always frustrated me about BritIslandCon versus say Paraverse was like Paraverse guys. Thank you. Isn't it an amazing sub sound? So I'll very quickly tell you a story. There is a fantastic guy called Simon Whistler.
Apparently, he's got some great friends.
Thank you very much for the sub. So there's a fantastic.
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Thank you, board. Thank you, Wonko, for the subs. There's a fantastic YouTuber called Simon Whistler who's got like 5 or 6 YouTube channels. He does geographics, mega projects, true crime podcasts, biographical stuff. It just a really amazing YouTuber. And I was listening to his true crime podcast, and there was one where basically the criminal suspected was a guy called JR, and the thing is, Simon doesn't pre-read these scripts. He reads them cold, so he's like always sticking his opinion in. And it was a horrific murder, and it was a horrific murder. But I was crying, laughing, listening to this podcast because I got about 5 or 6 of these amazing clips out of it. Just like I was just mental noting everything. Oh God, I've got to use that. Oh my God, I've got to use that. So. Yeah, it would. It amused the fuck out of me. But yeah, no. The thing that always annoyed me about BritIslandCon versus say Paraverse, certainly nothing against any of the organisers of either. It was just the British fucking mentality. Was that like Paraverse guys would put out that they were doing this event and they could get 400 people to that event, and there might be 3 devs. Chambers always used to turn up, a couple of Ulf used to turn up, but you might get 3 or 4 devs maximum because there's no studio in Paris and France, so they would have to send people to the event. Absolutely. And then you'd have BritIslandCon, and I think BritIslandCon 2019, I might be wrong here, but I think there was 65 devs to 120 attendees. So it's like it was just about or just over a dev to every 2 people. And Aaron comes, Chambers comes, you get really, really, like Luke Presley was there. You get really amazing devs, and they do loads of panels, and it's just like, yes. And I that's the thing, board. I think that might be the thing to do, like because if you remember BritIslandCon 2019, the pub afterwards was if it had been just at that pub the whole day. That was a big enough event. Do you know what I mean? Just get everyone down the fucking pub. Don't hiring that the big venue, and it's just like it's lovely. It's a lovely theory, but people just didn't come out for it. And to organise that event as a proper con was so much work for so little return of people showing the fuck up. Low effort, chilled out. The devs. At the end of the day, this is public information. CIG supports these events by basically paying the CIG bar tab, right? And I think that's a very clever way for them to support cons without giving cons money, right? So that they're not funding the con, but they are paying the bar bill for their guys turning up. So I think that's a very clever way of doing it. Because you don't.
Apparently, he's got some great friends.
Thank you, Lee McCall, for the sub. We've hit 100% on a hype train. This has never happened before. I have no idea what that means. Probably nothing. But thank you very much. And it's. The panels and stuff are great. I don't think you need them all day. At the end of the day. It's a lot of pressure to put on sort of CIG devs sort of on really, really quick, but I think it doesn't take a lot to get Northerners out to have a drink. Let's be honest. If you tell them there's free booze, they're already there. The young creators. Oh, that's definitely not me then. So I would be well up for well up for that. So one of the things we actually built this Covalex unit for was it is in effect a gamification piece of furniture. So this was originally for kind of our trade stand at CitizenCon 2949. And we ended up doing so many other the booths and the community booths that we ended up never really finishing it, which is why it sort of sat half finished. Because obviously we weren't being paid to make our own stand, so it got sort of back of the queue. But the idea of it was and is that you can actually run missions on it. So you can have a mission. Dubstep and hippity hop. Yes, I've heard of the hippity hop. So you'll get a mission by text or what have you, or through tweets and stuff. James and Stephen the Geek are the ones that sort of deal with that back end of it, and then you get a mission to go to a certain place in the venue, pick up a physical box, take it to the Covalex unit, the pick-up drop-off unit. Tap the screen. You probably have to put a code in for that mission. There'll be a few real-world things that we're going to have to do to make it so you can run more concurrent missions. But the UI all looks gorgeous anyway, so I've completely rebuilt the UI on it. I put the box in, door shuts, RFIDs are inside to make sure it's the right box. Dependent on the setup of the event, we've actually got a false door on the back of it, so you can have someone backstage loading and unloading boxes and stuff to make it look nice and seamless. So you can keep loading 100 boxes in it, sort of theoretically. But the real thing would be I really want to set a mission at Manchester, and you'll get a mission, go and pick up a box from the Covalex unit, and someone will go to the box in their full fucking cosplay and everything, have their photos taken. It's very much a photo op type thing. Get the box and then be told to take it to a Weatherspoons, quarter of a mile away. So they have to run through Manchester city centre with a box dressed in Star Citizen armour to take it to a Weatherspoons. That's what I'm planning. And there'll just be someone in the Weatherspoons going, yeah, there you go. Here's some J-Rex. So that's my plan with that. But yeah, if it works, it will work. But it'd be really nice at the big Citizen Cons to have 3 or 4 of these boxes, so we can do some nice gamification sort of around the venue. We were trying to think of other sort of in-game loops that we could do at real world events, and I think hacking is the other good one. We sort of saw the first sort of look at the hacking chips and sort of all that kind of stuff. So I think being able to have hackable panels throughout the event, quite hidden, and it'd be really cool to sort of hack your way and unlock features of not necessarily features of the event, because that's probably impractical, but certainly unlock other missions and bigger rewards. And this would be as a CIG thing, so you could win ships and all that kind of stuff. Get people a little bit more engaged with with the event as a thing would be really awesome. Be nice to get some octane drives up for grabs and all that kind of stuff. Mr. Time as a Klingon walking through Birmingham. Did they notice? He was a Romulan at the time. Nice. Can't beat a good bit of tracking. Yeah, it does sound cool. I've never done the whole cosplay thing at an event. I quite like to, I guess. I can't see me ever doing it at a Star Citizen event, sadly. Because I'm usually too busy, hopefully. I suppose I could be cosplayed as something to do with what we were doing. So I could be like a Covalex worker or something, being really grumpy. I could be one of those people that stand behind the admin desks and yell at people for taking too long and that kind of stuff. That I could do. But yeah, usually I am cosplayed as the guy in high vis running around like an arsehole. So yeah, right. So we kind of need some references on this for building this up, because we need to be pretty accurate. We've not really left ourselves any wiggle room in this particularly, but that's fun. Yay, one in a moat. Awesome. I don't understand any of this. It's just yeah, and on 6'3" and built like an underwear model. Yes, that is also the thing, I guess. You've yeah, and I think that was the thing we learned about when we did the Dragonfly, all the people that were on the Dragonfly. It is very much a Star Citizen metric thing, isn't it? It's why the Dragonfly had to be done in the end in sort of 3/4 scale, because full scale, the thing was just such a beast. Where would you do that? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. I could be the Grim Hex counter clerk. Just be really fucking miserable. Sounds excellent. That sounds like a role I could play. I'll never forget though. We were in coming back from Austin, and we were in. Quite a lot of us flew from Austin to Dallas for our connection, and we were hanging around in sort of Dallas sort of airport in the shoppy bit. It's not a very big airport, but and we had photos with everybody, and sort of like everyone was in their squadron stuff, and military caps and all this sort of stuff, and we we all sort of parted to go to our different planes, and we were talking to this couple at this sandwich shop, and it's like, I've got to ask, it's like, who are you guys? It's like, you look like you're military, but not military. And it's just like, well done. We're make-believe military, which doesn't have a weight limit. So, yeah, it was just like, that tickled me. That was funny. So truly. So, oh, stop deleting that now. I need it. Cool. It seems a bit excessive to drill little holes, but you need to screw these down. You need to screw it down fairly substantially to get a really good glue join, because we're going to put it through quite a lot of stress when we mill it. So we do definitely want to make sure that these are properly screwed down, and we also want to make sure we get the screws back out and we don't cover them over with other pieces of wood, because if we end up leaving a screw or a little bit of a screw, it will upset the CNC machine when it careers into a metal screw when we're doing that. So that would be rubbish. So that's fine. So what we're going to do is make sure that this is. Have we already made this bigger than it needs to be? Did we do that? Has it still got the other thing inside it? No, it doesn't. I just need to grab this again. Pretty sure we did make it bigger than it needed to be. Yeah, oh, duh. This in the middle of everything. Okay, right. That's fine. So that's in there. We've already made this larger, so we can put some screw down points in here. Again, we just want to make sure we're not putting any screw down points through the actual bit we're working on. And this will help us later on, because if we don't have any screws involved, or even the screw holes, that's less filling and sanding to do later. That would be the find the lost screw. Yeah. And this is the thing, you'd expect the CNC to win, and it does win, don't get me wrong. The carbide bits will defeat the evil gold screw, but the gold screw will be obliterated, but the router bit will still get blunt or chipped. Carbide is immensely strong, but it's quite brittle when you put it under that kind of like very fast stress. So you just see this massive sparks as it just disintegrates the screw. But when you look, you've lost bits off the router bit, so that's that router bit done. You need to go and have that resharpened. It's Carbide bits are great because you can keep resharpening them until they just get shorter and shorter and shorter until they're too short to use. But you can just keep having them retooled, which is great because they're about big carbide bits are about 200 quid each, but then it costs like a tenner to have retooled, so and sharpened. So realistically, I've got some of those big bits that have lasted me since I very first got a machine. In fact, when I was working on other people's machines, I would buy my own bits so that I didn't have to pay them for tooling and stuff. And I'm still using those bits today. And they've probably been sharpened a dozen times, and I've still got another dozen sharpens left in them. I mean, obviously, they're getting shorter and shorter and shorter, but, you know, fine. You end up using them for different things and buying new longer ones and things, but you very rarely does one break so badly that you can't have it. You can't make something out of it. So they're pretty good from that point of view. Right, so that's our bits of woods with our references, with our screw holes, everything we need for that. So we now need to. I need my reference guide as well. So we need to make a piece of wood that will end up being our corner reference. I also have a rough one on my machine, but when we're doing a specific thing, we'll quickly cut another one and leave it on the bed. So that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need to draw that. We can do that in VCOF. Yeah, yeah. Yes, I probably should wear safety equipment when we're using the CNC. I don't tend. So interestingly, if the bit breaks, the actual hood on it, that's the dust extract, it just bounces around in that. So it's never really going to throw a piece out because it's sort of enclosed by its dust guard. So I suppose that's another reason why there's a guard on it. It's not just for the dust; it's also for fast spinny things. So yeah, so relatively speaking, it's relatively safe from that point of view because it has its own enclosure. Sometimes you run with that not on for various reasons, but it tends to be when you're cutting things like styrofoam and stuff because you've got a really long bit in it and it's going all the way in and stuff. So yeah, you just have to be slightly wary. But CNCs aren't too bad from flying bits. I've used them for years. I've never really seen anything fly off them. CNCs are good for setting fire to themselves. That's CNC's major risk is setting fire to themselves. They love doing that. It's one of their hobbies. It's because you've got very fast spinning things and wood. It's just a fire machine basically, which can be quite entertaining. Right, so we've got those bits. Let's just put them over there a minute. We then need to make a piece of wood. So this is basically what we're doing over here, is laying sheets out. So we're going to do the same here. So the way I lay a sheet out is my sheets are 8 foot by 4 foot because even though we're in the civilized world, we still use old money for sheet material because it comes. We don't make it. So that's fine, but it's quite handy in a way because I basically go with a 2,400 mil by 1,200 mil board, which I can get out an 8 by 4 foot sheet and still leave room for an 8 mil tool around the outside. So it works out quite nicely. I can work in metric, and I can go all the way to the edge of that sheet because I know there's a bit of sort of oldie worldy wood around it. So it actually works out all right. So that's cool. So we've got this now. We'll just duplicate it. Oh, no, it's not. So then we're just going to place each bit of wood onto our sheet. Just having a quick save. It'll be with you in a moment. Right, there we go. So that's that piece. So we need to leave enough room for the tool. This isn't a laser, so you do actually have to leave a gap. Doesn't need much of a gap because we can screw these bits of wood down to the deck anyway, so that's fine. Cool. So that's our pieces. Now we've got 2 of these to make, so we need 2 of them. I'm just trying to think in my head, are they symmetrical? Yes, that's fine. We don't need to worry about that until we're doing the 3-dimensional tool paths. So that's fine. Are we going to get... Oh, gonna need every mil. So we can go right to the edge of the sheet if we need to. So we shall. We can go as close as we can to this. I say the tool that we're going to use is only 8 mil wide, so that's fine. So that's all relatively close, but that's fine. Cool. We've got a little bit of timber left. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'll just bring these in. Not enough to warrant us trying to change anything. So that's cool. So that's a sheet of wood will get us all the bits we need for both of these side panels. So that's cool. So that's not too bad, I suppose. I mean, we're going to lose a lot of that wood when we mill it all, like actually do it as a 3-dimensional toolpath. But it is what it is, I guess. Oh, I'll tell you what we might be able to get out of it, actually, if we do go this way. We might be able to get some of the pieces for the light stock out of it. Because the other thing we need is this piece here. So let's just very quickly do this. So again, we need a bit of stock. We've only got 1 of these to make, so we might be able to squeeze the stock we need for this out of this. Is a 1-directional carve. So that's where we need a little bit of room. 40 would be nice. So we've got plenty of room around ourselves. Again, if you don't have room to easily screw stuff down, it becomes a real pain. And you end up messing it up, and then you end up wasting the wood anyway, so it doesn't really... You've not gained anything by saving that tiny bit of wood. And everything we've got at the moment is 12 mil, because that's just what I've got on the shelf. So that's fine. So this one... 25 on each side, because this doesn't need to be oversized. Still gives us 50 mil play for us to be gluing it together without marking it. Still loads of room, that's fine. Then we just need to make sure the stock is tall enough. Yep. So we're going to have to do that. That's fine. That's fine. So we'll see if we can fit any of these pieces in. Quite long. Really gained a lot. I might get 2 in. Suppose we could split some in half if we want to be really good. Yeah, let's be really good. So I've not got a lot of stock of wood in at the moment. So that's 2 we've done. So what we'll do is do that half, just so we've got more of them. But we've got more of them, but we can fit them inside those these sort of wasted space bits. So we'll be able to sort of fit them all in. That should be grand. Perfect. So that's 6 of them, which is all we needed. But since we've got more space, kind of need the ones in the middle to join it, don't we? Do we? Could we get away with it? We get away with just one? No, I tell you what we could do. No, we want those 2 to keep the rigidity. What we could do, however, is make this panel to split this panel, but not quite in the middle. That's probably the best thing to do. Put this in here. See? It is down the middle, isn't it? So that's a half one on the bottom. The box was so successful. Jazz come out to the drawing board. Yeah, something like that. I don't want to make this less strong just because of our just because of our need to not use more wood. But I am a little bit of a I'm slightly obsessive over not wasting a gram of wood. So oh, that might be a solution. Haha. Get in there. Oh yeah, 80 mil. That'll be a nice overlap. That will do me. That will do me nicely. Okay, so that has got us that split, then that one, then that one. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Pycrete. uh, no, I don't think Pycrete is cheaper than wood. I suppose it's cheaper than wood, but you know, it's made of ice. So yeah. Yes, the UK government was indeed going to make an aircraft carrier out of it. They actually made a prototype and put it on a lake in Canada. It was quite a clever idea actually. However, it was entirely made useless by the fact we just got better planes with longer ranges, so we didn't need to land in the middle of the Atlantic. It was exorbitantly amount of money to actually build this thing. But yes, Pykrete, for anyone who hadn't seen, Pykrete is basically at its base wood pulp and water, and it has ridiculous properties. It's not you can't get it very thin like timber is, but it floats. It's very good for making boats. Basically, Mythbusters did a whole episode on it. And they discovered that they made their own type of Pykrete, not using wood pulp, but they actually used newspaper, so that they could layer it more. So you're effectively making plywood out of newspaper and ice, and it was really, really effective. Use resin instead of ice. Good God, that's got expensive very quickly. So wait a minute, wood pulp and resin? You mean MDF? Because that's all MDF is, and I'm not using MDF. Yeah. How about we get really thin sheets of birch ply, like really, really thin, and then we use like a fiberglass resin in between each layer and just build that up into say 18 and 12 mil thick sheets, so we could have cut into 8x4 sheets. I'll get that made. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh wait, that's what we've already got. So yeah, I'll keep using my wood. It's fine. Interestingly, timber prices have gone up, and it's not affected birch ply a huge amount. We've not really got a supply. Touch wood. We've not really got a supply shortage of birch ply. It's gone up by about 15% price wise, which is not bad, because I mean, it's like normal plywood has doubled in price, and it was more than that at one point. It's starting to, it's seriously starting to sort of come down now. Yeah, birch ply certainly in the UK, hasn't really been massively affected by the price hike. I think because it's not really a building material. It's a sort of furniture grade timber, so it's not. No one's buying it to put sheds up or do internal walls or anything like that. It's a expensive product, so it's being it's not, as I say, it's not really gone up in demand hugely. So I did check the other day because we were pricing a job up, and I thought, oh God, how expensive is birch going to be? And it's actually like really like 10-15% more than I was buying it 2 years ago. So that's probably just inflation. So thankfully not. How about cardboard? I've never cut cardboard on my CNC. You don't really cut cardboard with a router. You have a sort of CNC knife to cut cardboard for doing boxes and stuff. But yeah. So anyway, so that's fine. So that's got that's got 3 bits of stock we've built out of those, which is really nice. So that has saved us having to use another sheet for that. So this bit at the bottom is a bit of 6mm with sort of routing carving on, so that's a separate piece. But so this is all the bits that we need to cut to make our stock for our 3D carves. So I'll throw that on the machine tomorrow. I'll do a little video of me cutting it and gluing it so that stick it on. As I say, I have a slight issue with the workshop. I tried to see if NVIDIA Voice would cope with the CNC. It coped with the CNC in that it muted me, basically. So it's like, well, I could do that, but you couldn't hear me over. Couldn't hear me over it. The skin of humans from the local morgue. That might be more expensive than birch. Interestingly, I suppose it'd be closer to MDF though, because MDF uses formaldehyde in its glue. So I suppose it'd be quite as high formaldehyde content, a bit like MDF. It could just be like murder density fiberboard. It could just be new MDF. I hate MDF. I'd actually prefer MDF if it was made of people. At least it might not expand as much. Right, so that's that. So we've done that. We've done some giveaways. I shall see if I can find anything else to go with our Foundry 42 armband and little man. That seems a little bit of a shit giveaway. Your hairless kids edible super glue. Soylent MDF. That could be the way forward. You'd a fucking shit ton of it though, wouldn't you, to actually make anything useful? I mean, bones. Bones would be better. Ground down bones and a resin would be fine. But then, to be honest, you just grind down stone and use a resin, you end up with the same thing. It'd be like Corian. You go bone Corian, I suppose. Anyway, that got morbid fast. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Let's find someone to raid before we get kicked off the internet. We need to pick a winner for our contest because let's pick a winner. Patch, there you go, fantastic. Yes, if you can, I don't know if I have your Patch. Whisper me your first and last name so I can find you in the system. I probably got it somewhere already. But yes, and pull 3 keys. I've got yours already, so that's fine. Congrats indeed. How is Carrack model going? Oh, we can do a little quick update on that. So we cast our last mold for the canopies. How is the Carrack going? We can very quickly show. Did I close it? I probably closed it. That was silly of me. Hang. There. Oop, wrong screen go. No one can see it. Right, there we go. So our Carrack update for today. So the Carrack is yeah, didn't it? So the Carrack it's all signed off. It's in production. So all of these boxes behind me are all the parts. So we're getting up to 100. So that's cool. This artwork has now been submitted to CIG, so we're just quickly showing this off. So this is the instruction manual for the Carrack. So we have some amazing artwork by Haskahar and Captain Raoul have done some amazing artwork. We have some background lore for our particular Carrack called the Clara Barton. So it's got some historic lore and some in-game 2951 lore, which is quite fun. Then lots of instructions and lots of magnets. All the magnets. 60 magnets in this model. So that's all cool. So this is basically how you put it all together. Some more cool artwork spreads inside. It's a 40-page book, I think. This instruction manual, all its window glass and everything. How it all goes together. All the cargo pods. More facts and cool art spreads. How you put it together, so that's in landed mode with its ramp out and landing gear down. And this is all how you magnetize it together for flight mode and put it on its base and everything. Why magnets? Why not magnets? Because otherwise you can't change anything. So this is quite interesting. Why magnets? So there's lots of interchangeable parts in this, from the aerials to the canopies, the ramps, the landing gear, the cargo pods, the hangar deck, the wings, whether they're in landed or flight mode. All of this stuff changes on the Carrack. So this is kind of how it goes together. If you want it in landed state with its ramp down, its landing gears deployed, its antennas folded in, it is all cool, and then so that's in landed mode. Whereas this is all the other different things that you put it together to put it in flight mode, with its aerials up and yes and no. So quick answer to that is, will we do updated parts? Sort of. So I'll say why. At some point, we know that there will be a armored canopy. So the current bridge section is on a magnet, so that can be swapped out later on for the armored canopy. We may also get different cargo pods, so they're all interchangeable on magnets, and you can drop them off, so it doesn't have so it looks like it's dropped a cargo pod. So if we don't get any new cargo pods, but we do get the canopy, we'll probably just do the armoured canopy and add it to the kit that's already out, and then offer it as a free spare part on our spare parts service for all the people who've already got a Carrack. If there's more stuff like more cargo pods, yada yada yada, all the rest of it, we'll do it as a diorama add-on pack, because there'll be more to it. So we don't know when those things will be released. Probably it's gold standard pass / when we get to drop cargo pods, all the rest of it. So we will update / add extra bits in that you can buy, to catch up with it. We don't change things in the kit because they've already been signed off, and I don't want to disadvantage people who have bought it early on, that they don't get as good a model as people that bought it at the end. So there'll be none of that. I think it's far more likely to be added as a diorama kit to add on to it later on for, changeables. But we could be a year or so away anyway from seeing the armor canopy and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think the Carrack is a squadron ship, so I don't think it's going to be very shortlisted for Gold Pass. So that sounds cool. So credit, another nice spread for the credits at the end, or the people who have worked very, very hard to get this model on the shelf, and then the Made in Britain logo at the back. So that's our Carrack update for today. Is that basically we're now just waiting on CIG for sign off on all the art. So that's for the sleeve and the instructions. I say the printing is going very, very well. We're only probably a couple of weeks away from having 100 ready. I mean, it doesn't matter how many we've got ready, to be honest. As soon as we get this artwork back, we'll put it on sale. So once we've got... thank you very much, Waldeck. I will get that out to you probably tomorrow. I'm trying to think what's on tomorrow. I think I'm doing a post run tomorrow. Thank you very much. Damn it, CIG. To be fair to CIG, they haven't had it for long, and they are quite busy with CitizenCon. So once and to be honest, I said the printing is still going on, but by the time we get it back from CIG and then we order the artwork's about 10 days, there will be enough on the shelf for us to launch it, whether we've got up to 100 or not. Very, very nice of you. This is more important than sitcom, damn it! I couldn't agree more. But yeah, so that's cool. It's nice to have got all the other 1 to 500 dioramas already on the shelf as well, which is nice, because that was... and I think that's going to be the case for the next raft. I think the MSR and the Gladius, Buck, Miz, all those Sabre, Vanguard, all the new 1 to 500 dioramas will probably come onto the shelf before the Hercules does. I think it's mainly because we don't have all this artwork stuff to deal with, the instruction manuals and the stores, like a load of the other work that has to go in for the full-on kit models. We kind of get away with not doing that for the dioramas, so they are quicker to do. Need a video trailer for the cat. We did think about it. We probably could have had one. It's just the time to put one together. If I'm honest, I'm not a very good video editor, so I need to pay someone else to do it. And when you pay someone else to do it, you have to get all the footage, and it's just like it ends up being days and days of work to actually get something that's worth putting out. It's one of those things that it's either got to be worth putting out, so it's going to look really, really slick and good. Not saying that we don't have the skills to lean on to do that, but it's the amount is understanding the amount of time that's going to take someone to do it. And I think especially for us, because it would be a kind of combination between in-game stuff and out-game stuff, trying to get them to merge together. So I'm sure it could be absolutely amazing, but not in the timescale for CitizenCon this year, if I'm honest. We're going to get an update to what we call the Toby page, which is our page on the Pledge Store. We'll get an update for that for the Carrack, probably for the dioramas before then as well, actually. But yeah, it's that'll keep being updated as time goes on. It's one of those interesting things. I'd really like to have an edit down of these streams down to sort of 10-15 minute YouTube videos. But again, it's one of those things that takes so long for someone to do. I'm quite happy to pay people in JREX to do it, but I appreciate that is fucking cheeky. Like, here, have some free shit for doing loads of work. Just like I appreciate how much work these things are, and it's a case of we don't have the resources at the moment to do that. One of the things I would love to be able to do is take on a full-time graphics and video editor and photographer and all that kind of stuff, social media outputty type person, yeah, I could do with another CAD designer first, and a sander, and an accountant, and a project manager, and all the other things. Truck driver would be nice as well. Currently, me and Cal's are all of those things rolled into one, with our additional contractors occasionally sprinkled in for good measure. But it'd be nice to have some actual employees of a permanent variety for JRDF. In-house chef. Yeah, sushi chef. Oh God, if I was a multi-millionaire, I'd have sushi every day for lunch. That would be one of my things. Fresh pair of socks, new pair of socks every day. Sushi for lunch. Yeah, indeed. Right, so we were looking for someone to raid, and then I got distracted. As happens. Who's on? Astra. I always try and... oh no, we could raid Captain Bucks. We haven't raided Captain Bucks in ages. We'll raid him. I need to work out how my raidy thing works. Bear with me. Right, okay. There we go. So that's cool. So yeah, thank you very much all for joining us. Sushi is life. Oh, I love sushi. I can make good sushi as well. I'll be honest. My issue with making sushi is that it doesn't keep for long enough. So I can't just go, oh, well, I'm going to make a massive, thing of sushi, because it's not actually going to last long enough for me to actually enjoy it. So it's it kind of doesn't work. So yeah, so that is unfortunate, but there we go. So anyway, right, we're going to raid Captain Bucks. Let's raid Captain Bucks. Thank you so much for everyone for coming in, joining in. Thank you for all the subs, have a nice evening, everyone. I shall see you all on Wednesday. Enjoy. Ta-da.